Your spirit. Sorry, things are a little bit blurry. I apologize, it's a little loud in here. Working through some things at the moment. I'm gonna put you down. I'm gonna have my lunch. First off, let's just share this real quick. Great company, organization, I should say, just because that's how I see it. And we're gonna do that. So we're having pizza uh, from bars. Isn't that good looking? Ah, so let me do this real quick. Hold on for a second. Okay, one of the things that I learned as a pizza chef, or as a chef, is how to make pizza by the slice all day, right? And when you do it that way, you're able to put it back into the oven and get that nice, lovely pizza cheese pull that people be looking for. Hold on, we'll do this like this, right? So, see, when the cheese is already hangy right here, right? So when I go to do that thing, it's still gonna give me a little bit of a pull. It's been sitting here. So when you go in, you let someone get it by the slice if they're willing to. Hey, do you mind putting my slice in the oven for a couple of minutes to get crispy on the bottom so I can keep the pull while I'm walking? It's hotter. I told you way back when. Forgive me. It wasn't way back when. We're talking 2014. It was 2026. Okay, that's how it happens. So we don't see time in the right way. It's right around us. It's not behind us or in front of us. It's right beside us, right? So as the food service director at the North Carolina School of Science and Math, we originally had a pizza conveyor oven, and I asked them to remove it. My chef before me got them combi ovens, and so I taught the students how to make pizza from scratch. So for less than the cost of ordering in them little nasty ass pizzas, pardon my French, that they were getting, I taught the students to the 11th and 12th graders who were exceptionally brilliant. They're going to go off to some of the most prestigious universities in the country by way mostly of scholarship. And so they needed to be able to have the means otherwise to eat, to hang, do the things that college students do. And they weren't being taught life skills. They were being held up for their intelligence or height or both. So what I did was encourage them to learn whatever they could from the kitchen. They could take that with them and then they could make money, right? And their peer group, who would be rich students whose parents could afford for them to go, wouldn't be able to shun them. An example of this is the movie Mystic Pizza with Julia Roberts. It's no coincidence that in that movie, one of the young ladies is taken advantage of by a professor. Mm-mm. He stays with his family. You understand something? This is a student, and he takes her in as his babysitter just to be around and babysit. He and the wife have something going on. They end up going through it. He has a moment of weakness, and that's how scandal happens in this country, ladies and gentlemen. Now you got to have somebody covered up and this, that, and the third. See, that's that alpha male strategy. Wounded, you protect your dominance because you can't protect your innocence. You're wounded because you know you were wrong for what you did. About some judgment, you were already on your way out the door. weakness, whatever you want to call it, you know you have a wife and children and family at home. As that wife, as that mother, and as that child, the audacity to ruin our family simultaneously. I'm not going to let you get off scot free. We made a vow to be together through thick and thin, no matter what happened, with the exception of violation of your oath to love and protect all of us, abuse, cheating, reckless endangerment. That's not protection. That's a violation of the covenant or contract of marriage. It avoids any further engagement. Everything else is a hostage situation and a negotiation until one of us can get out of it and or leave. The difference between that and being an apex predator is you recognize another predator, see? And any man who has had a child with a woman and doesn't recognize a predator instinct in her was lacking when he chose her. So don't be hating on her for not having the necessary needs to be a pistol packing mama. See? Now, there is nothing in the world that says there are not female predators. See? Then there are hunters and there are predators. Hunters are out to get what they need and leave. Predators are looking for a trophy. See, I am neither predator nor prey. It's just I learned to behave like one. Technically, all of them. I understand the sociopathy of humanity and I interface with each one accordingly. 11, 11 o'clock, male or female, I can get down with an angel or a demon from hell. It don't make me no difference when it talks about being able to combat bullying, disrespect, the things that keep this level of toxicity going. Now, I'm not beating up on nobody. If you look at uh, the internet and you research, Alpha Male Strategies was built off of looking at wolf packs. So when they began sending this out to young men, mostly, it was literally you're an alpha male, you're a beta male, you're a sigma male, you're whatever it is. Come to find out, written by the own hand of the original person who came up with the pack theory, oops, they was mistaken. The pack hierarchy is not indeed alpha, beta, whatever it is. They're bonded pair, male, female, and family. That familial hierarchy is different from alpha, male, or beta. It's like eldest son, eldest daughter, middle son, middle daughter. youngest son, youngest daughter. You can see this when my children got around their cousins who were younger than them and female. They immediately bonded with the age group specific, i.e., because my middle son was the eldest one at home and they had the most similarities, he hung out with his younger female cousin. In return, my youngest son hung out with the younger female cousin because she was the youngest one. So they have similarities around their birth order. And then being from the same family, they can bond over certain things, enjoy each other's camaraderie, and learn what it is to play platonically, to love, and that, um, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Nuclear and then extended familial way. Like they weren't just cousins; they lived together for a better part of 2 years, I think. So they got to experience growing up with elder boy cousins, treated them like siblings. Like the boys were not um, like changing diapers and those things, but one of them was at an age where she might sometimes run through the house naked and need, you know, go put your clothes on, girl, or come and say, hey, mom. You know, sometimes if she needed to go to the bathroom and he would make sure she got there on time. But then you'd send her on in there and you turn your back and make sure she's okay and you talk to her. You know, don't close the door because she might be afraid or whatever it is. That's something that they learned to communicate and they had their own way. I wish I had access to my old shit. There is this adorable picture of her letting my youngest my son know that she loves him in a silent way. I am sitting on my bed, minding my business, and they're both in my bedroom. And he's standing closest to me, and she's standing right beside him. And for no apparent reason, she just grabs his hand and looks off into the distance. And he's not sure what's happening, so he just holds her hand, looks down, and then keeps talking to me as if there's nothing happening. That's bonding. That's learning that it's okay to love somebody, to trust someone. When it came to me, I have fibromyalgia. I live with bone to skin pain. My nieces and children, wanting to be affectionate and show me love, didn't know how for a while, and neither did I. So we learned through trial and error to come up with something similar to the IC1, IC3 with my children, but this was 1 to 10. And they could just simply walk up and say, I'm seeing 1 to 10. And if it was five or below, no, yeah, 5 or below, then they could give me a hug. Below 3, then that's when y'all see me out here singing and dancing. That means that my body pain's not that bad. Anything above 5, and then it's like a church hug. At I'd say probably about 8, it's like air kisses. Okay, so I said gentle hugs are like church hugs, but with intention. Right? We had to learn these things. We created a vocabulary inside of my family, inside of my community, and then I shared that with people on Twitter, uh, Instagram, Facebook, and eventually I went live on YouTube. So that's why people didn't know it was me until they knew it was me. I started out specifically mostly with text and then some photos and images of us and eventually me on screen. It was to protect my identity because I just needed an outlet from what I was living. Um, I knew that we would get to this point eventually. In either case, if you ask me, being an apex predator and or an alpha male is performative masculinity. When can you be soft enough to hold my hand and strong enough at the same time to remember what was on your mind and not miss a beat? let me feel what I need to feel, and then ask me later, so to speak. That's the purest form of human existence that there is. It doesn't require a penis or a vagina, just a willingness to hold space for somebody else.